Watch a humanoid robot take one step. It lifts a foot, places nearly all its weight over the other, moves forward, and lands on an area barely larger than a shoe. For a moment, this expensive machine is one bad calculation away from crashing into the floor. Yet modern humanoid robots can walk, turn, climb steps, and recover from a disturbance. They stay upright not because they are perfectly balanced, but because they continually detect small errors and correct them before those errors become a fall. Behind that ability is an entire engineering system. Cameras that observe the world, sensors that feel motion and force, electric motors that act like muscles, computers that plan movement, and control loops that react faster than a human operator could. So how does a humanoid robot actually work? And how can a machine move through a world designed for us? Two legs are not the easiest way to build a machine. Wheels are normally simpler, more stable, and more energy efficient. A fixed industrial arm can also perform repetitive work without balancing an entire body. The advantage is the environment around it. Our buildings use stairs, narrow passages, door handles, workbenches, shelves, and handheld tools. A machine with roughly human proportions may enter those spaces and use existing equipment without requiring everything to be redesigned. Tesla describes Optimus as a general-purpose bipedal robot intended for unsafe, repetitive, or boring tasks. Boston Dynamics is developing Atlas for industrial work, while Unitree produces several research and general-purpose humanoid platforms. But the human outline creates one of robotics' hardest problems, coordinating dozens of joints while preventing a tall, heavy body from falling. Beneath the covers is a rigid frame supporting the torso, limbs, battery, computers, and wiring. Each independent joint motion adds what engineers call a degree of freedom. A knee mainly rotates around one axis. A shoulder or hip may need several axes. The number varies by design. Unitree lists between 23 and 43 degrees of freedom for versions of its G1. Boston Dynamics says its current Atlas has 56. More degrees of freedom can provide greater reach and flexibility, but they create more motions for the computer to coordinate. A high joint count does not automatically make a robot intelligent. It only gives the control system more possible ways to move. The difficult part is selecting the right combination at the right moment. To decide, the robot must know what is happening around it and inside its own body. Humanoids can use several perception sensors. Cameras capture color and texture. Depth cameras estimate distance. Some designs use Lidar, which measures reflected laser pulses to build a three-dimensional map. Unitree's H1, for example, combines three-dimensional Lidar with a depth camera. Other robots rely more heavily on cameras and computer vision. The goal is to identify open floor, obstacles, people, and possible places for the feet and hands. The robot must also sense itself. An inertial measurement unit uses gyroscopes and accelerometers to detect rotation and acceleration. Encoders report joint motion. Motor measurements estimate effort, while force sensors may detect contact beneath a foot or at a hand. No sensor tells the complete story. Cameras can be affected by glare. Inertial measurements can accumulate error. The computer therefore combines imperfect signals through sensor fusion, producing a continuously updated estimate of the robot's position, motion, and surroundings. Gravity pulls the robot downward, while the floor pushes upward through its feet. If the body leans too far and cannot move a foot in time, gravity pulls it toward the ground. The control system tracks body orientation, joint position, foot contact, and the estimated center of mass. It calculates how the machine should move, compares that plan with sensor measurements, and sends corrections to the joints. For a small lean, it may adjust its ankles. A larger disturbance may require the hips. If that is insufficient, the robot can step and create a new support point beneath its moving body. Overlapping control loops handle these decisions. High-level software selects a goal. A motion planner creates body and foot trajectories. Whole body control coordinates the torso and limbs. Faster, low-level controllers regulate the motors. Different layers may update dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of times per second. This is why a humanoid may sway while standing. The movement can be evidence of the machine continually correcting itself. Walking begins with planned contacts. One foot supports the body, while the other becomes the swing foot. The robot shifts its weight, bends its joints, lifts that foot, moves it forward, and prepares to land. The foot cannot follow a fixed animation. The floor may be higher than expected. A joint may respond differently, or the robot may slip. Sensor feedback modifies the movement while it happens. The arms can contribute too. Humans swing their arms partly to manage rotational momentum. A humanoid may move its arms and torso for a similar reason, or to prepare for a task. At touchdown, impact must be absorbed without destabilizing the body. The controller transfers weight onto that leg and begins again. One smooth walk is really a rapid chain of predictions, measurements, and corrections. Most modern humanoids use electric actuators. Inside a typical joint, a motor creates rotation. A gearbox changes the relationship between speed and torque. Bearings support the load, and an encoder measures movement. Leg joints need high torque to lift and accelerate the body. Arms must combine strength with precision. Actuators must also be compact because excessive mass in the legs and hands makes rapid movement harder and consumes more energy. Powerful motors create heat. Repeated lifting or fast walking can raise temperatures and draw substantial battery current. Engineers must balance torque, speed, weight, cooling, efficiency, and durability. Improving one quality can make another problem harder. Movement is limited not only by software, but by the force and heat the hardware can safely handle. Walking attracts attention, but manipulation can be even harder. A human hand combines many joints with sensitive skin, flexible tissue, and an extraordinary sense of friction and pressure. A robotic hand must locate an object, position its fingers, approach without collision, prevent slipping, and avoid crushing it. A rigid tool, a soft package, and a thin cable require different strategies. Some humanoids use simple grippers because they are strong and reliable. Others use multi-fingered hands with force control or tactile sensing. Greater flexibility demands more information and coordination. An impressive walk, therefore, does not prove a robot can perform every household or factory task. Reliable manipulation in an unpredictable environment remains a major barrier to a truly general-purpose worker. Artificial intelligence can sound like one giant model controls everything. In reality, a humanoid normally depends on several connected systems. Perception software interprets sensors. Localization estimates where the robot is. A world model represents nearby surfaces and objects. Planning software selects an action. A learned policy may choose behavior, while motion controllers translate it into joint commands. An instruction such as "move that container to the shelf" becomes physical steps. Recognize both objects, approach safely, position the body, grasp, verify the grip, manage the added load, and release correctly. If any part is uncertain, the robot may slow down, try again, or request help. Physical intelligence is not merely producing a correct answer, it must create a safe action, despite friction, weight, movement, and imperfect data. Engineers can program motions directly, but defining every action would take too long. Robots can also learn from demonstration, simulation, and repeated practice. During teleoperation, a person guides the machine while the system records observations and actions. Imitation learning uses those examples. Reinforcement learning improves behavior through rewards and penalties, often completing huge numbers of simulated attempts before hardware testing. Sensing, computing, and movement require energy. A humanoid normally carries a rechargeable battery in its torso or back, near the body's center. It powers the computers, sensors, and actuators. Walking consumes energy as motors accelerate the body and resist gravity. Lifting adds more demand, while cooling and computing consume power even when the robot stands still. A larger battery extends operating time, but adds mass, which may demand stronger motors and still more energy. Some platforms use replaceable batteries. Boston Dynamics says Atlas can navigate to a charging station and swap its own battery before returning to work. Industrial robots must do more than perform one spectacular movement. They must repeat useful work without overheating, losing accuracy, or requiring constant assistance. Humanoid robotics is advancing quickly, but the industry remains young. A prepared demonstration is not the same as reliable operation in every home, street, or factory. Real environments contain glare, moving people, unexpected obstacles, and unfamiliar objects. Falls can damage the machine or injure someone. Powerful joints create pinch and impact hazards, so speed limits, emergency stops, and human supervision remain important. The central challenge is not making a robot move once. It is making the robot perceive correctly, choose safely, and repeat a task under changing conditions. So, how does a humanoid robot work? Sensors estimate the world and the condition of the body. Computers turn a goal into movement. Electric actuators generate force. Feedback controllers compare the plan with reality and correct errors. Learning systems acquire behaviors that would be impractical to program one instruction at a time. A humanoid is not simply a human-shaped computer. It is a constantly moving partnership between mechanics, electricity, perception, control, and artificial intelligence, working together to keep a machine on its feet. And that is how engineering works.